Fifth Third is a great play if you are trying to go regional. Like if you're looking for a regional bank in the States, Fifth Third is a great play to consider. Kind of similar to US Bank, PNC, Truist, and BMO. Okay. So in today's conversation, I want to explain to you how to actually get a Fifth Third business credit card, how to play the game, how to put the system really well so that you actually get approved no matter what. So the first thing I want you to do here is to choose your Fifth Third business credit card. So there are two business credit cards that the Fifth Third issues. So nothing complicated. You have the Fifth Third Simply Business Card and the Fifth Third Commercial Card. So this is kind of good because this simplicity makes things a lot easy, because you're not going to look at 10 business credit cards. You only have two. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is called the Simply Business Credit Card. Okay. This is a card that allows you to actually go about your business and charge everything on the card. And it's a cashback card. It's very simple. You are earning 1.67% unlimited cashback for every dollar in purchases. I want to insist, unlimited. Okay. Unlimited. There are no rotating categories, no earning caps, no points expirations, and no annual fees. So in this economy, with all the banks, with a few banks failing here and there, having a regional player such as Fifth Third offer this sort of flexibility and this sort of convenience in their in its business credit card is just fantastic. Okay. And the card also allows you to track purchases easily. They have something called a mobile receipt capture and management, so you're able to track your purchases. On top of that, you have zero liability on card purchases, automatic car rental insurance, and you also have a MasterCard ID theft protection. The only thing I need to insist here is that you got to be a Fifth Third bank customer to actually qualify for this business card, because Fifth Third actually prioritizes relationships. You got to have a banking relationship with the institution. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love to have this sort of conversations every now and then. So this Fifth Third Simply Business Card is kind of cool because it has a 0% intro APR on purchases, and in some cases balance transfers for the next 12 months if you qualify. After that, you have 16.74% to 27.74%. That's what you have here. Okay. And one thing I want to say also is that it's important to say that the requirements are less strict on this card than on the next. Let's talk about the next card. So the second card is the Fifth Third Commercial Card. So this card is a corporate card. So whatever you charge on the card, you have to pay in full by the end of the month. Okay. So this makes I would say this makes the proposition for acquiring this card, for applying for this card, a little stricter. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Now, whereas in the first card, the Fifth Third is more lenient. Okay. Like they will accept you if you are a startup. They will accept you if you have negative cash flows, like losses in your business. They will accept you if things are not really I would say satisfactorily, like operationally satisfactory with your business. Fifth Third may I want to say here, they may work with you they may give you the first business credit card, the Fifth Third Simply Business Card, as long as you have a strong relationship with them. But on the second card, the Fifth Third Commercial Card, they want you to have positive cash flows, because they will look at two things to make sure that you have positive cash flows. They will look at your statement of your company's statement of cash flow. Okay. And they may look at this quarter over quarter, year over year, over 3 years and whatnot. And the second thing they look at your the transaction flows, the inflows and outflows in the bank account that you maintain at Fifth Third. So they want to see whether or not your company is flush with liquidity or not, or struggling. Because this card, again, as I said, you have to pay in full whatever you charge on the card. So they want to make sure that you are in terms of liquidity, you are good to go. Okay. But the card is just fantastic. It has in-depth reporting tools. You have you are able to administer a lot of things. You are able to look at the individual and departmental spending limits. Okay, you're able to have to charge purchases back to designated accounts, which is really good for accounting purposes. Which is good for internal control purposes. Okay, and even better in terms of annual tax reporting. You have already here all the information that is just there for you in terms of reconciling your accounting versus your tax information. Okay, the card allows you to actually manage all cardholder accounts through Fifth Third's convenient online portal. This is really cool, and so this is really good. And you have a maximum, like Fifth Third wants you to have 350,000 minimum spend a year to avoid a $250 annual fee. Okay, so boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a convo about Fifth Third business credit cards. So I spoke to you about the two cards that Fifth Third has. Now, if you want to really play the system really well, if you want to really work out the system really well and get your Fifth Third business credit card, you need to explore other Fifth Third business funding arrangements. Why should you do that? Because there is a chance that you might not qualify for the business credit card. So what you want to do here is that when you apply for this business credit card, you want to apply for business funding in general. So the way you want to package it, don't apply online, don't apply over the phone. You want to go to a branch and apply at a branch. And the way you want to package it as a business funding. So you sit down with the rep and say, I'll be interested in business funding from Fifth Third. I would like to consider first a business credit card, but in case I don't qualify for whatever reason for a business credit card, I would like to be considered for another type of business credit. Okay, and why do you want to do that? Because if you never know, you might be approved for one and be rejected for another. But the goal here is to have a foot in the door. Okay, it doesn't matter if they approve you for a business loan with $5,000. It's all good because you are already in their systems, you are already in their books, and you just need to manage the whatever credit they extended to you. You have to manage it really well so that the next time you come for bigger and better, they will actually look at your file with more consideration. Okay, so when we talk about Fifth Third business funding, there are two types of arrangements you might want to consider. You have what they call fast business loans through Fifth Third Fast Capital, and they have unsecured business lines of credit and term loans. Okay, those are two things. So Fifth Third Fast Capital is actually a program whereby you are able to fund your business needs fast. Okay, they will approve you within the 2 to 3 days. Okay, very fast. And in terms of the unsecured business line of credit and term loans, you might qualify for loan amounts going from $10,000 to $100,000. So either way, you will come out as a winner. So always have that in mind. Always try both or three types, business credit cards, business loans, and business lines of credit. Next thing I want you to do here is to actually determine your eligibility. Okay, because Fifth Third, if you want to have a Fifth Third business credit card, there are some requirements, and you have to make sure that you do qualify. Now the thing is that it's not just about. First of all, Fifth Third is a regional play. I already said that. So which means what? It means that you need to. It's geo restricted. So you have to make sure that your company is within the designated geography that Fifth Third covers. Okay, if they don't cover your geography, you're not going to qualify. Simple as that. So, and the thing here is that when we talk about business credit card, it's not just like you don't have to have a small business, a medium-sized business, or a large business necessarily. Okay, business credit card means what? You can qualify also if you're a solopreneur. Obviously, if you're a business, you need to actually qualify in terms of being legit, which means that you have to be registered with the authorities. You have to, if you're an LLC or S corp, you have to, or C corp or LP, all those things. You have to make sure that you provide the incorporation documents, the formation documents. I'm talking about articles of incorporation, articles of incorporation, articles of organization. Okay, certificate of good standing. All this kind of stuff are important. Now, if you are a solopreneur, you can still qualify. Like if you are in photography, coaching, freelancing, consulting, if you're a yoga instructor, if you are in babysitting, if you are on eBay, if you sell on eBay or Craigslist, if you do tutoring, if you do dog sitting, whatever it is, as long as it is properly organized and properly registered as a business, quote unquote business, you can qualify. Okay, and in this case, Fifth Third wants to have from you, if you want to be considered for a business credit card, they want to hear from you. They want to see from you a DBA, among other things. Though they want to see from you a doing business as certificate. That way, they're pretty sure again that you are legit. Okay. One thing I want to say here is that if you are a solopreneur, you're not going to qualify for a Fifth Third commercial card. No. but you could qualify for the Fifth Third Simply business card, because the Fifth Third commercial card, even though Fifth Third has never talked about eligibility restrictions, those are for, as I just said, companies this card is for companies, actual companies, and on top of that, they do have cash flow limitations, cash flow restrictions. The next thing I want you to do here is, if you want to qualify for a Fifth Third business credit card, is to actually become eligible, or try, like, do everything in your power to become eligible. Okay, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a convo about Fifth Third business credit cards, and I'm giving you all the ins and outs of Fifth Third, so that the next time you apply for this Fifth Third business credit card, you get it right off the bat. Okay, Fifth Third is a fantastic institution. They have great benefits on their credit cards, and we love the fact that they only have two, so you don't have to be confused, and they're not trying to confuse the hell out of you. They just make it very simple. Okay, so how do you become eligible? Well, first of all, it's really important to understand that when we talk about becoming eligible, there are three things. And boss, I want you to remember three things. First of all, you have to be a business. Number two, you have to make sure that you are charging business expenses on the card, and which means that you need to have a system of accounting in place that shows Fifth Third that you are basically divorcing your personal affairs from your business's affairs. That you're segregating your personal expenses from your business expenses. This divorce is really important. Okay, not only in terms of a Fifth Third, saying that you are a legit business, but also in terms of the IRS looking at your business to say, you know what? Okay, those expenses are legit, and this taxpayer can actually write off those expenses. Okay, now, so there are three things. Okay, I said first you got to have a legit business. When I say legit business, I'm not saying you have to be an S corp or ALC. In other words, if you are a solopreneur, if you're a sole proprietorship, and you are doing consulting, you have to show that you're really doing consulting, and you are expecting money, you're expecting revenue from that activity. That's number one. Number two, you have to show that you have a system of accounting controls in place that make sure that you are separating your expenses. And the third thing is, it's just very important, you got to have a business account that is dedicated to expenses. Even if you're a solopreneur, you can have a personal account, but this has to be committed, it has to be focused entirely on the expenses of the business. Okay, so those are the three things. So business accounts, a business itself, like you're trying to separate business expenses from from personal expenses, and third thing is you're generating revenue, you're putting that revenue in a specific account. Now, it's really important to understand that if you want to really, you got to be strategic. If you are considering acquiring a Fifth Third business credit card, you got to be strategic. Why? Because Fifth Third, throughout the year, they actually have a constellation of promotions. Sometimes they have promotions. Sometimes they have they invite you to their business credit card. They might send you a pre-screened offer, solicitation offer in the mail. Okay, and anytime you get those offers, you want to jump on them. Not a problem. Don't even say no. You know why? Because it's a pre-qualifying link. It's a pre-qualifying offer. So they're not going to do a hard pull right away, because it's a soft pull. And so if you have those opportunities, I really want you to really seize them. Okay. Same thing for big bonuses. Sometimes the Fifth Third has they run campaigns where they offer big bonuses. Okay, it can be a sign-up bonus on their and they usually do this on the Fifth Third Simply business card. They rarely, if ever, do this on the Fifth Third commercial card, but they do it on the Fifth Third Simply business. And they don't. Maybe you don't qualify in your state, because they play this sort of campaign strategy depending on the state. Okay, so you gotta be lucky also. And one thing I want to say here is that if you really want to qualify for Fifth Third business, like Fifth Third bonuses, or in terms of business credit card bonuses, the most important thing to do is to maintain a relationship. So, and you also want to make sure that you are limiting your personal credit card application with Fifth Third. Okay, Fifth Third is not like Chase. They don't have a 524 rule here. Okay, but they still pay attention to their overall exposure to you. Okay, so if you already have business credit card, I mean, if you already have personal credit cards, if you already have personal loans that are outstanding with Fifth Third, you have to be sure that the loan amounts, the credit card amounts are not really high, because Fifth Third will look at your their overall exposure to you, and they might be less inclined. They might be less inclined to grant you a business credit card if they think that you already owe them so much on the personal side. Okay, so but you got to have a relationship, maintain a relationship, have an accounts with them, have a business account, a business savings account, a business checking account, a personal savings account, personal checking accounts. One thing that I really want you to do here is, if you want to boost your chances of getting the Fifth Third business credit card, this might sound a little counterintuitive, but it's important to always keep your options open. Okay, Fifth Third is a fantastic institution, but again, as I said, one of its limitations is the geo restriction. Okay, if you're not in the geography that the bank covers, you're not going to qualify for, not only in terms of having a bank account with them, but also having a business credit card. Okay. Now, the only exception to that is if you are an online seller. If you sell on Amazon, if you sell on eBay, if you sell on Facebook Marketplace, like if you are on Shopify and whatnot, then you might qualify. But it's important to always put your eggs in different baskets, okay, and not put all your eggs in the proverbial Fifth Third basket. So you want to look for things like you want to look at other credit cards. Okay, and see, and the way you want to play this is that trying to look for, like, as we always say, make sure that you are comparing apples to apples. So you want to look for banks that are kind of similar to a Fifth Third, such as BMO, such as PNC, such as US Bank, such as Truist, such as TD. Okay, because we want to be because those are regional banks. Okay, they're kind of similar, and their requirements are different from those of big banks such as Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, and the Bank of America. Okay, and so look at those banks and see if they offer other business credit, other cards that are kind of similar to what you're looking for. Because one thing that's a little how do I say this? That's a little dissatisfactory with a Fifth Third is that the bank only has two cards. Okay, so if you're looking for, let's say you're looking for a travel rewards business credit card, for example, you're not going to find that with Fifth Third, because they only offer a cashback rewards 1.67% and another commercial card. Okay, so the list of benefits is kind of limited here. Okay, one thing I also need to say here, that just make sure that you are prepared for, like, you're prepared to submit documentation, because they will ask you for things like mailing address, business mailing address, your EIN, okay, the number of employee that you have, your annual business revenue. They'll ask for your personal information, who is the authorizing officer, okay, who is actually, like, for that person, how much that person makes every single year. Okay, so they will ask for a couple of pieces of information. Be ready to provide those, and they will also ask for business tax returns as long as personal tax returns. So you will need to provide, if you're an LLC, for example, you need to provide your 1065 as well as all the accompanying schedules K1. Okay, and if you are a C corporation, you need to provide your 1120. If you're an S corporation, you need to provide your 1120S. So just be ready to provide those in addition to your personal tax returns, also your 1040. Okay, this is what it is. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was quickly talking to you about Fifth Third business credit card. So we talked about the two cards that that the bank has. Okay, Fifth Third Simply Business Card and the Fifth Third Commercial Card. And I also explained to you how to explore other Fifth Third business funding arrangements, how to determine your eligibility, and how to explore funding options. Okay, and how to improve your chances of success by always maintaining a relationship with Fifth Third. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.